Hi, I'm Carla. Thanks for joining me today. Today's practice, we are working on Viloma. Viloma is very beneficial at balancing blood pressure. When you look at Viloma, the breath moves, you're breathing in interruptions. So when you breathe in, you're going to breathe in stages. Sometimes it's nice to imagine that you're bringing in the breath from the base of the pubic bone to the navel, from the navel to the base of the chest, and so forth, in interruptions like that. But also just working with timing is a really nice way of working Viloma, which is how we're going to work today. If you do have any heart conditions, you want to avoid practicing Viloma and work on mastering Ujjayi Pranayama and also Nadi Sodhana, so one of the digital pranayamas. You're going to take support, and we're beginning by sitting in Virasana. So Virasana, you want to take as much height as you need to make yourself comfortable. Supta Virasana is lying down. We're going to begin in a lying down position, especially as a beginner. You want to begin your practice lying down. If you need a blanket to get some softness for the shins, and especially because we are doing pranayama and you're going to be there for a little while, have a blanket to create just a little bit of softness for the shins. Take a little bit of height to sit on, especially because it is the first pose you're doing, so make sure you're comfortable. If you have any knee injuries, you're welcome to take just a cross-legged position and sit in whatever cross-legged position, or even with the legs out straight. So having a brick to sit on, feet are at the sides, you're on the center shin, the outer thighs descending. In this Virasana position, you're going to tuck in the tailbone as you come down and feel that there's just a little bit of space between the buttocks so that the lower back waist is supported. If your knees fly up and you can't keep them down, then you might need to take a little bit more height. So maybe a folded blanket underneath the bolster. If your ankles scream in this pose, take more blankets underneath and move the toes off. Make sure that the back of the neck is long. The blanket supports the head and the neck. You want to feel that from the hairline down the nose, down towards the chin, there's softness, so that the chin and the chest are beginning to come together in that Jalandhara Bandha shape, which we use for pranayama. Turn the back of the hand against the floor. Palm faces up to the ceiling. Come to Ujjayi Pranayama, where you're just becoming aware of your breath. So keep the eyes closed to keep your focus inward. Make any adjustments with your body so that you're completely relaxed and quiet, and you're able to bring your focus completely to your breath. As you breathe here, just pay attention to your breath. Listen to the sound of the breath. Feel how the breath moves in and out of the body. As you breathe in, try to focus internally what the lungs are doing, what the diaphragm does in the pranayama and your breathing, how the diaphragm moves and affects the abdomen with each inhalation and each exhalation. Feel the breath not just in the rise and fall of the chest, but also in the openness and closing of the side ribs. Feel the breath as it touches the back body. So become familiar with your breath. With each exhalation, make sure the muscles and the skin of the face are relaxed, and you're dropping your chin down, throat is soft, back of the neck long. No tension anywhere in the body, especially no tension in the breath. So it's a soft, smooth inhalation and a soft, smooth exhalation. As you are here in this Ujjayi Pranayama 1, paying attention to the breath, begin to move slowly into Ujjayi Pranayama 4, where the inhalations and the exhalations are deep, full. The inhalations and the exhalations follow natural cycle. So a full deep inhalation, there's a pause at the top of the inhalation as the breath turns around, and a full deep exhalation, and there's a pause when the lungs are empty. Be with your breath. Follow those cycles. Know your breath when you're at ease, when you're in a relaxed position. Those pauses, are they quiet, still pauses, or are you struggling? Are you holding the breath tight? Are you clamping your throat to do the pauses? They need to be soft pauses. Viloma I is breathing in with interruptions. So you're going to take in the breath. You're going to breathe in for 2 seconds, and then you're going to pause. That same soft pause that you have in Ujjayi Pranayama. Then you're breathing in for another 2 seconds and pausing for 2 seconds. Then you're breathing in for another 2 seconds and pausing for 2 seconds. And you continue until the lungs are full. So it depends how long your natural cycle of breath is. There's a natural pause, and then a normal Ujjayi Pranayama out, Ujjayi breath out, until the lungs are empty. There's a pause, and then take a normal breath in and out, or as many recovery breaths as you want or need. So to begin, empty the lungs completely, and then inhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Inhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Inhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Continue in this manner until the lungs are full. And then when the lungs are full, you're going to pause. You're going to do a Ujjayi exhalation. You're going to pause, and you're going to come to a recovery breath or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you need. And then you're going to begin again. So you're breathing in with interruptions. Your timing of the inhalation and the pauses is accurate. When your lungs are full, you're going to pause and exhale with control. That Ujjayi Pranayama 4, pause, and then recovery breaths. If you're a regular practitioner of pranayama and you've done Viloma plenty of times, you don't need as many recovery breaths, if any. Be with your breath. Continue doing cycles of Viloma. Keep trying to push your capacity, but being mindful that you're not hardening the jaw, you're not hardening the neck, the nervous system is still passive. You're able to keep tension out of the body. So be mindful of what's happening in the body as much as what's happening with the breath. You're trying to breathe in and out through the nose. Keep the chin down, the throat soft. Keep all tension out of the face, the head. Do one more cycle of Viloma. Viloma I, where you're breathing in with interruptions. Viloma I is beneficial if you have if you have low blood pressure. Helps to regulate your blood pressure, especially if you have low blood pressure. And then coming back to normal recovery breaths when you finished your last cycle. When you feel ready, open the eyes. Pressing into your forearms, you're going to lift yourself up and just sit in Virasana for a few breaths. If you need to release the legs, coming onto all fours, releasing one leg at a time, just to release the knees. So pranayama is often done in a lying down position until you become accustomed to those actual acts of pranayama, and until you have an asana practice where you can hold yourself in a seated position easily. And so now we're coming to Viloma pranayama number 2, right? So keep the bolster and the blanket. You can remove the Viloma supports, and you're going to come to lying in Savasana. So again, leave a little bit of space. Make sure that the flesh of the buttocks is away from the back waist. Make sure that the bolster is absolutely centered. So as you lay one vertebra down at a time, feel where the bolster is supporting you. Feel that it feels accurate and centered. Make sure that the skin of the top shoulder is released. The back of the neck is long, and the blanket is supporting the head and the neck. It's not on the shoulders, so that the shoulders are free to move away from the ears and down towards the bolster, down towards the floor. Hands at your sides, palms quiet and soft in Shavasana. Once you've released the spine, you're going to extend the legs. Just take whatever distance between the feet you need, that you feel comfortable and that there's a release in the pelvis. Adjust anywhere that you need. Make sure the body feels relaxed, supported, even from left and right. Back of the neck long, throat soft, chin coming towards the chest, chest lifting towards the chin. Skin and muscles of the face soft. The lips are touching but barely touching. The whole mouth is relaxed. The teeth, the jaw quiet. And with the eyes closed, your focus drawing towards your breath. Keep your body completely passive, completely released, completely at peace. Viloma Pranayama 2 is interrupting on the exhalations. So first come to Ujjayi Pranayama 4, where you're just finding the fullness of your breath, the fullness of your exhalation and inhalation. Finding that rhythm of your breath, the inhalation, the pause, the exhalation, the pause. And when you're in the rhythm of Ujjayi Pranayama 4, you're going to take in that full Ujjayi inhalation and then pause and exhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Exhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Exhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Continue in this manner until the end of your breath. Pause, and then take a normal Ujjayi breath in and a normal Ujjayi breath out. Take as many recovery breaths as you feel you want or need. In those recovery breaths, make sure the shoulders, the neck, the throat, mouth, cheeks, eyes, all free of tension. Come to the next cycle. You're taking a full Ujjayi breath in, pause, and then exhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Exhale to 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Exhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Keep going in that manner. Watch your timing. And when the lungs are empty, pause, normal breath in, normal breath out. Take however many recovery breaths you need, or not, any at all if you don't. To begin the next cycle, empty the lungs completely. Full Ujjayi breath in, pause, exhale for 2 seconds, pause for 2 seconds. Each exhalation is 2 seconds, each pause is 2 seconds. In the pauses, there's stillness, there's peacefulness, until the lungs are empty, and then recovery breaths. You keep going, doing as many cycles of Viloma as you want or need. Viloma Pranayama is beneficial for balancing out high blood pressure. So each exhalation, each little pause, you can almost feel that blood pressure calm down and dissipate. In pranayama, you want to begin in a lying down position and then move into a seated position. If you suffer from high blood pressure, do Viloma II lying down. Don't do it sitting up. Keep doing as many cycles of Viloma as you have time for. And when you're coming to the end now, so finish with one more cycle of Viloma II. And then come to normal breathing. When you've been there for a few breaths, let the eyes gently open. Bend the knees, roll off your bolster, just letting your right shoulder and your right hip come to rest on the floor. You can move the bolster out the way. Keep the blanket if you need it. If you do not like lying flat, use the bolster for behind the knees. Making sure again that the back of the neck is long, skin of the shoulders is away from the back or away from the neck. Buttock flesh is away from the back waist. Once you've extended the legs, take them as far wide as you need to get a quiet release in the pelvis. The inner thigh rolls from inner to outer so that the feet flop out to the side. Same with the arms, roll from inner to outer. Back of the hand rests on the floor. Palm is soft, fingers curl into the palm. Relax the shoulders. Relax and lengthen the back of the neck. Keep the chin moving down. So from the hairline, there's a sloping down towards the chin. Throat is soft. Relax across the top shoulder, across the collarbones. Release the arms from the shoulders to the fingertips. Release and spread the back along the floor. Release from the buttocks and the hips to the heels. Relax right to the toes. Each exhalation, you're releasing tension from the body. Each exhalation, you're releasing any attachment to thoughts. Each exhalation, you're just letting yourself surrender to Mother Earth. Inhalations are just holding you present, holding you with your body, using that exhalation, that releasing quality of the exhalation to hold you in the Savasana state. Bring your hands anywhere to rest on your torso where it feels comfortable for you. Keep the elbows rested on the floor so that the arms and the shoulders are still relaxed. And for a moment here, just connect with the breath again. Feel the inhalations as they rise, the hands up. Each inhalation bringing you a little bit back to the present. On the next breath in, stretch your arms over your head. Give your body a long, deep stretch. Can yawn or sigh the breath out. And then bending the knees, roll onto your right hand side. Just stay in that fetal position for a few more breaths. When you're ready, you're going to press your left hand into the floor. Use it to come up. Cross your legs for a moment. Sit up tall, close the eyes, bring the hands into the prayer position. Eyes closed again. Come to the breath. Take a moment here just to feel how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, physically. Each inhalation, lift up the spine, open up the chest, start to bring yourself back to full consciousness. When the eyes feel ready to open, let them just flutter open and focus. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. See you next time.